in the luxury car segment in the United States? Well, yeah, something has just happened, and BMW, well, they don't seem to be aware of it. People are buying electric cars in that segment. Now, this wouldn't matter if the United States wasn't Germany's wasn't BMW's most important car market. They're losing market share rapidly to Tesla. What do they sell? Like 70-something thousand vehicles in the third quarter in the US. Tesla sold 300,000. 75,000 versus 300,000. You would think that would be telling BMW something. The company selling 300,000 in your segment and disrupting you right now, not only in the US, but also in Germany, maybe you should look at how their vehicles are powered and then try to emulate it. Instead, BMW CEO is saying the future of the automotive industry is powered by hydrogen. You can't make this stuff up. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. My name is Sam Evans and I'm coming to you from Melbourne, Australia. Thanks for tuning in. It's awesome to see you all again. Hope you've had an amazing day. And this just made my day. This gave me a good laugh. You know, we all need a bit of humor in our lives. A bit of humor keeps things light, keeps things fun, keeps things not too serious. That's what this gave me. To be honest, I was feeling very serious today. I was thinking about some very serious things, and all of a sudden I saw this and I just couldn't help but laughing. BMW's chairman, Oliver Zips, who is clearly nearly as insane as Carlos Tavares, the CEO of Stellantis, says hydrogen fuel cell vehicles will soon be looked to as a value alternative to battery electric vehicles. Now, I'm going to make a point here that a lot of people are not aware of. Some car manufacturers have been saying this now for 30 years. 30 years, some of them have been saying this for. That it's going to happen. At any moment now, hydrogen vehicles will take off and everyone's going to want one. Yeah. Maybe take off like a bomb, because that's what a hydrogen vehicle essentially is. But anyway, the interesting thing is here, right? That a week ago, seriously, 1 week ago, the person that owns the patent on all hydrogen tanks that are put into cars, he owns it worldwide. In other words, every single hydrogen-powered vehicle sold, he gets a margin on that vehicle. He said hydrogen-powered vehicles are not the future. And he's not holding out hope he's going to make any money from that business. Literally, that's what he actually said. After the electric car, which has been going on for about 10 years and scaling up rapidly, the next trend will be hydrogen, he told Bloomberg. When it's more scalable, hydrogen will be the hippest thing to drive. Now, why would it be hip to drive a hydrogen-powered vehicle? I don't understand. To be at the behest of basically oil and gas. That's what you're saying. Hey, isn't this cool? I'm going to go back to the gasoline station. Now it's a hydrogen-powered station. Pay them a bunch of money when I could be charging my EV for nearly for free. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Good one, Oliver. BMW is one of the few automakers still actively spending money and investing in hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles, and will soon put the iX5 fuel cell vehicle into production. To say in the UK about 2030, or the UK and Europe in 2035, there's only one drivetrain, that is a very dangerous thing. For the customers, for the industry, for employment, for the climate, from every angle you look at it, that is a dangerous path to go. He's basically implying that EVs are not good for the climate. That's what he's clearly said there. Yeah, I have no words for that. Addressing the common criticism of the lack of hydrogen refueling infrastructure, Zips said there's a simple solution. There will soon be markets where you must drive emissions free, but you do not have to have access to public charging infrastructure, Mr. Zips said. You could argue, well, you also don't have access to hydrogen infrastructure, but this is very simple to do. Well, you could also argue that actually there's millions of charging points right now in pretty much every country on the earth. Literally there is. How long will it take companies to continue to expand these fast charging points, which are expanding at a rate of about, I think about 1 million a year right now? Not very long, obviously. And clearly, building out hydrogen infrastructure is not simple. In fact, it's staggeringly expensive. It's significantly more expensive to set up a hydrogen gas station, whatever you want to call it, than it is a gas station. Why on earth does he think this is feasible? I'll tell you what it is. It's called sunk cost bias. I think you already know that by now. Sunk cost bias is exactly what this is. Greater use of fuel cells for BMW vehicles could also help reduce its need for raw materials like lithium and cobalt, says the media. Each hydrogen fuel cell system uses aluminium, steel, and platinum, all of which are recyclable. Well, so are the materials in battery packs? Did you miss that memo, media? Clearly they must have. And the funny thing is, right, these hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, they still have a battery in them. They're not actually getting away from having a battery, right, by having a hydrogen fuel cell powered vehicle. There are also the intrinsic benefits, says car expert in Australia, of fuel cell vehicles, like considerably quicker charging filling times than electric vehicles. BMW says 3 to 4 minutes for a complete fill, even in freezing conditions, and zero emissions, with only water vapor coming out of the exhaust. Not only will BMW offer fuel cell vehicles, but Rolls-Royce may too. Now, the thing is that these manufacturers often forget 98% of charging is done at home. And in places where there's apartments, have you seen the solution? There's all kinds of solutions. There's robotic chargers. There's stuff like where they're actually installing charging on streets. They're just putting it all on. All streets are going to have like hundreds of chargers on those streets for people who just park there. I mean, apartment blocks are installing charging points. It's really not that difficult. In fact, it's easy. Much harder to set up a hydrogen network, especially when there's not a lot of hydrogen to go around. Now, the thing is, BMW unfortunately own Rolls-Royce, and they plan on making an hydrogen-powered Rolls-Royce as well. I'm sure that's going to be a hit. Fuel cell batteries, why not? I would not rule that out, Rolls-Royce CEO Torsten Muller told Bloomberg. There is a belief in the group that this is maybe the long-term future. There you go. Okay. The CEO of Rolls-Royce has just admitted that the hierarchy at BMW believe the future of the automotive industry is hydrogen. These guys have completely lost their minds. Seriously. Look at the market share of hydrogen. Look at what it was 20 years ago. Look at what it was 10 years ago. It's not changing. It's not changing, and it's not going to anytime soon. And it's not a solution to anything other than what? To get you paying, to get you still in the pocket of oil and gas. Now, Bloomberg reports fewer than 100 BMW iX5s will be delivered from the end of this year to select partners in Europe, the US, and Asia. Of course, just in countries where they happen to have a few hydrogen refueling stations. BMW's fuel cell vehicle system was first detailed in 2020, with the iX5 concept revealed the following year. It features 2 tanks made from carbon fiber reinforced plastic that store up to 6 kilos of hydrogen at under 700 bar of pressure, a lot of pressure. A fuel cell that produces 125 kilowatt, an electric motor, and a battery pack. BMW says total system output is 275 kilowatt. Now, the German automaker believes this powertrain suits customers who do not have their own access to electric charging infrastructure, frequently travel long distances, or desire a high degree of flexibility. Well, the thing is, there are people in that category right now. Yeah, there won't be in 10 years, but there are now. And they're not lining up to buy hydrogen fuel cell powered vehicles. I mean, when does he think they're going to be? I don't understand this. When does he think people are going to line up to build these massively expensive hydrogen refueling stations? This is such a huge cost to companies, and no one else believes they're going to work. I mean, there's very few people in the world now that believe that this is a viable solution. So who are all these investors that are going to come along and build out these hydrogen fuel power stations? They don't exist, and they likely never will. Prior to the iX5, BMW built a limited number of hydrogen 7 sedans in the mid-2000s. In other words, between 2000 and 2010. Instead of fuel cells, these were equipped with V12 engines that used hydrogen as fuel, a little bit like Toyota's new car, right? They released it a few months ago. Toyota and Yamaha got together and thought, yeah, this is genius. Everyone's going to want this. We're going to make a V8 engine that uses hydrogen. And it runs at the most insane pressure you can imagine. The thing is so lean. The reliability on those kinds of vehicles would be, the life cycle would be, you can imagine. You've seen Fast and the Furious, right? When they press the go baby go button, you know what happens? All this nitrous gets forced into the engine and then it runs incredibly lean. What happens after that? Most of the time, the engine melts. Yeah. BMW has introduced several battery electric vehicles, sold alongside a range of petrol, diesel, and plug-in hybrid models. And clearly that's going really well for them right now in the United States, their biggest market in the world. Or not. Like I said, losing market share. Not only is BMW still committing to fuel cell powered vehicles, it is also avoiding announcing an end date for combustion engine vehicle sales. Well, Mercedes, they have announced the end date, right? 2030, they say. That's in contrast with other brands like Alfa Romeo, Cadillac, Jaguar, Maserati, and Volvo, Mercedes-Benz, and Audi. They're saying that most of them will have stopped producing gasoline-powered vehicles in 2030. That's about when BMW thinks hydrogen-powered vehicles are going to take off. Now, the interesting thing is BMW is planning for most markets where it sells cars to be 50% EV. It wants to produce 50% of its vehicles as EVs in 2030. And of course, some of those will be hydrogen-powered as well. So I'm not sure how BMW plans on selling the other 50% of cars, but I'm going to suggest that they won't be. So basically halve their sales to date, or maybe less. I don't know. It depends on whether or not these guys actually wake up to what's going on. Now, BMW remains one of the very few number of brands committed to hydrogen fuel cell technology. Something that likes of Tesla, Volkswagen, and now, well, to be honest, most of the automotive industry are completely written off. Hyundai and Toyota are the leaders in this field in hydrogen, some say, with their Nexo and Mirai respectively, offered in various markets around the world, including Australia, but not selling at all, in Australia anyway. BMW has sourced cells from Toyota. Honda offered a fuel cell version of its Honda Clarity, but this has been discontinued and the Japanese automaker has yet to announce plans for a replacement. Great Wall Motors said last year it would invest $626 million over the 3 years in R&D for hydrogen vehicles and will ride into the top 3 in global hydrogen market share by 2025. That's not going to be hard to do. What do you need to sell, like 50 a month to make the top 3 in the world? Yeah. Now, apparently, Land Rover has also developed a prototype Defender fuel cell vehicle, a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle, and Ineos Grenadiers have said they're going to make one as well. Well, yeah, good luck to those companies investing money, scarce resources, and they are scarce resources, into a technology which is never going to take off. It's simply a matter of physics. Now, for those of you who don't understand that, there's no amount of actual explaining I can do because you've sold on the hydrogen religion. If you're sold on the hydrogen religion, then really just do your own research and eventually you'll probably end up seeing the light, hopefully. Now, BMW, well, honestly, when you hear this stuff, the only thing that comes to my mind is 2 words: basket case. Basket case. That's what they are. Seriously. What the heck is this nonsense? Why are they still stuck on hydrogen? Sunk cost bias. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts and have a great day. Bye-bye.